And just like that, we are back with another episode of Upward and Onward, where we are focused on entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation. And today we are sitting with Pablo from the Perfect Empanada. I know you guys saw the Instagram video where I went to Mount Hope Market and I saw Pablo, and he welcomed us with one, beautiful and tasty pastries, but also just this aura and this energy that was infectious. So thank you, Pablo, for driving down. Thanks for sitting in the seat. So good to see you.
No, thank you for having me, man. This is, it's my first podcast, but it's just a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
100%, 100%. So how's your day been? I know you had a farmer's market today,
we
right?
just did a farmer's market this morning at Mount Hope Farm. It's a little rainy, a little cold out there, but we still did okay. We
That's
had
good.
some followers come out and support, and some newbies, and you take what you can get every day.
That's
right.
right.
And you move on to the next, and you just hope that you did something right for the customers.
That's right. And I'll tell you one thing. When myself and my girlfriend had been at Mount Hope Market and we tried your empanadas, we left there feeling like, wow, Pablo, like he really just made our day better, right? By the food, but also just you being you. So thank you for being yourself.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, I feel like you have that effect on a lot of people. So continue to do
I
it.
hope so.
Yes, definitely. So I think what will be helpful for our listeners and some of our viewers is just to get a sense of who you are, your background, and a little bit more about who Pablo is, the man behind the empanadas.
Who's Pablo?
Who's Pablo?
Well, first of all, he's a crazy lunatic,
Watch out for that guy.
but with a lot of good intentions.
That's good.
Let's see. Let's try to keep this simple, but I'll tell you a little bit about my back. So I was born in Argentina, which is a southern cone of Latin America. That might be my blood, but I grew up in Miami, Florida, since I was 3 years of age. So I always tell my customers that from a culinary perspective, I may be Argentinian, but my true love of food is the Cuban cuisine, which the Cuban Americans, and I have no Cuban in my family, but they taught me how to eat and how to cook quite well. That was my upbringing all the way till the last couple of years of high school. I had an opportunity to live my last 2 years of high school in Argentina and get to know my home country a little bit better, and then came back for college.
Nice.
And then that's me. And then my college career, I followed a marketing track.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing or selling empanadas my whole life as a profession. As a matter of fact, I followed a standard corporate track.
Okay.
In sales and marketing.
Okay.
My first company, wonderful company, was Hershey Foods. We all know Hershey chocolate.
Oh, yeah, Hershey chocolate.
Gained a few pounds
Yeah, I
in
believe
my
it.
sales career the first couple of years with them, but
That's
that's
gonna
okay. Started my professional sales career with the Hershey Food Company. Started with them, moved up into management with them, and then 5 years into that professional career, I went back to graduate school and did my MBA in marketing.
Okay.
And then kind of that's where all the fun began, and then I continued on the corporate ladder and so on and so forth. Then 20 plus years later, just to break this down and boil it down to a nutshell, I began to really begin my life, if you will, beyond corporate and do what I really want to do, which is make people happy with my passion.
Which you are
Which
doing.
happens to be empanadas and cooking. So I took the jump
Yes.
off of the corporate ladder. And here I am.
Here you are.
Started a little company called the Perfect Empanada,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's
so
me.
When did you start the Perfect Empanada, and how did that begin? Like, was
Right.
this something that was inspired by someone else, or was it a
Right.
thought that you had?
Yeah, well, there's two answers to the question of when did I start it. So officially, commercially, we launched the company in 2021.
Okay.
Right as the pandemic was kind of easing up and there was an ability to get back out there and sell, right? When did I leave corporate? 2018. So you could say the intention was, but then COVID hit, so we had to take a little pause there. I wasn't going to, begin to put all of my nest egg into something that was not going to go anywhere quick. So, but when did it really start? I guess is the question. I guess first of all, since the age of 5, I remember my first empanada at the age of 5 visiting Argentina. I'd go once a year, with my parents to visit the family, the extended family during summer vacations. But my grandmother's cook and caretaker and all that, she made the darnest best ham and cheese empanadas that I'll ever remember, right?
Okay.
So maybe that's when the love for empanada started.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I tried every another empanada possible down in Argentina. And then back in Miami, we had access to wonderful empanadas. So, but the true answer at the end of the day is when I went back to graduate school back in 2000, I left Miami and I went to Rochester, New York for graduate school, a great school for marketing to do my MBA. There were no empanadas in Rochester.
Interesting.
None.
In New York?
We're talking about 23 years later
Okay.
here, upstate New York,
Upstate New
not
York.
New York
Okay,
City.
never mind.
Right?
Totally different.
And I love empanadas, and I had them at my beck and call in Miami,
Yeah.
and now there were no empanadas.
Tisk, tisk. Come on, Rochester. You got to do better.
So I had to learn how to make my own.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
I wanted to still eat them for
course,
fun
as
and
you should.
whatnot. So that's kind of where what I tell my customers, the chase for the perfect empanada began.
Okay.
Not that I thought I'd begin a company called that or anything, just, okay, let's start it. So for myself, I started making empanadas, and one thing led to another, and we can talk about how it turned into a business, but that's how it began.
That's
if
how it
you
began.
will. That's where the egg was fertilized, if you will.
Okay, so that's way before.
No intention to start a business.
Yeah, that's
but
way before any of this was.
I had to learn
conceptualized.
how to make badass empanadas
Which
for myself.
you did, because I mean, I had.
And it took a long time to figure it out,
Yeah.
but that's how much I love empanadas.
I can tell.
And I want to share, my stuff with everybody else.
Oh, and you guys, if you guys are in Rhode Island and you're going around, it's summertime now, so it's warm out, hitting up the farmers markets, maybe going to breweries, different places in Rhode Island, look out for the Perfect Empanada and go follow them on Instagram. I'll drop their Instagram right here because you don't want to miss out. The ones that I tried were delicious, and I got to try some other ones. So
They look good.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a little secret. They're really not that good.
Oh, stop it. No, you're way too nice and way too I don't even know the right words.
I love the customers that know me. They realize that I'm silly and I'm funny, and, and I always like to crack jokes like that because I believe that you don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
I try not to take myself too seriously, and I don't mind every once in a while making a fool of myself. If it puts a smile and makes you laugh or whatnot, and make your day a little bit brighter.
You never know who needs it.
So empanadas for me are an experience.
Okay.
It's not just a food category.
Interesting.
Right? It's an experience. Why do I say that?
Yeah, why?
Because you take an empanada and what do you think of when you have empanadas? Well, when you have pizza. You have pizza, you have a pizza party.
That's
you
right.
have friends and gathering and family. What do you create? You create memories.
That's right.
And the empanada food group is just the perfect vehicle for an experience. And that's really what I'm trying to accomplish. Is a new and an innovative experience of a product that's becoming very, very popular.
Okay.
But I have some ideas on how to make it different, better, and hopefully a little bit new.
You don't have to share them if you don't want to, but I mean.
Well, little by little we'll get there, But not there yet. But, down the road, step by step, as this business develops, I have some things that are hopefully going to twist people's brains a little bit.
Hell
and
yeah.
be like, wow, this is kind of different.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get started. We're going.
Nice.
People seem to be digging it.
I am.
And we grow from here.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing about how this idea and the love of making empanadas kind of came about and leading you up to the Perfect Empanada. But I'm also curious, prior to really launching the business, I saw that you had been affiliated with Hope in Maine. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Still am.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So for people who are listening and watching, can you tell them what Hope in Maine is and how your experiences with them have been?
Hope in Maine, for anybody, in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, here in the Northeast, within striking distance of Warren, Rhode Island, Hope in Maine is a culinary incubator. And I got to tell you, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Is that right?
Because starting a food business of any sort takes a lot of capital, right? And a lot of money. And, let's face it, most of us, you just don't have it.
Yeah.
And so Hope in Maine affords you the opportunity to start a small-scale business, particularly in the food space, with less financial risk, almost no financial risk, really, almost none. I mean, you need a little bit to get started, but I mean, just some working capital. And you can get going in their shared kitchen rental space. But there's so much more than just shared kitchen. Hope in Maine is a group of people led by Lisa Raioli, and Waterman Brown, and Luca Carnival, and Allison Mountford, and so many others, there, that's almost like a family, and they don't just provide you a facility that you rent and use to commercially produce and be licensed to sell your products. But they have so much knowledge in the business of food that they really help you along, and they're like consultants for free. You don't pay for that knowledge that they share with you.
Interesting.
And they genuinely want every single one of their members to succeed. I mean, they're a nonprofit organization. There's really no financial benefit for them. Whether or not you their benefit is for you to succeed, be a success story, graduate from there, go on to your restaurant or food truck or whatever distribution system you want to do. And it's just a wonderful mission that they have, and it's people like me with a dream that are able to begin to carve it out and hopefully, prove it out, that make it a reality.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say that Lisa, the director, Lisa Raioli of Hope and Main, is the fairy godmother of us all.
That's awesome.
Maybe. And she doesn't say that, but
Okay.
she says, I don't sell kitchen space, I sell dreams.
Hell yeah.
And she's wonderful, and the whole crew there is wonderful and very, very embracing. Whether you're new to the food business or somebody with experience that's just restarting something, they're just a great resource. And I couldn't stress more that if you're interested in getting into the food business and need some help to get started on a low-cost level, Hope and Main's a good place to start.
Good to hear. If anyone's out there and you're listening and you're thinking about starting your own food business, take Pablo's advice. I think Anat has also testified to this, and maybe even Anthony Giordano as well. 3 people from Hope and Main who have been on this podcast, and each of them are doing their own things in different ways. They're innovating, they're putting smiles on people's faces, filling their bellies up, and hitting that spot. So if you're thinking that you want to do the same and you're in Rhode Island, Hope and Main is a great resource for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what's it like? Because it's, you're in an incubator kitchen, right? So there's different people cooking different things. Are you able to move around and get to where you need to go and do your thing isolated, or how?
Yeah, there's definitely a system. No, absolutely. No, actually, when you're renting the kitchen space, you get the kitchen for yourself. There is no sharing of food businesses at the same time in the kitchen, right? So there's a schedule. There's 24/7.
Nice.
It's open. You once you're a member, you have access and you get on the schedule. And I personally, for me and my business and my system, my body, I'm a late night.
Oh, me too.
When it comes to production, when it comes to working and getting things done, I'm not really your 9-to-5 guy. So for me, I get a lot of quiet time because I go in during the night shift and get all of my production done. I get it done faster, more efficiently. So that during the day when I'm hitting the farmers markets or breweries or whatever I'm selling during the day when people are awake, and then I produce certain days of the week later, starting maybe at 7 o'clock. And
I see.
But even during the day, you rent the kitchen, and there's 4 different kitchens. They have even a gluten-free kitchen. When you have the kitchen for your time slot, whether you took it for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is, it's your kitchen. And you just follow the protocol. You leave it the way you got it, which is a clean, pristine, sterilized kitchen, and that's the way you leave it. But when you're in there, it's your business and it's your production facility.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And then they have, of course, freezer space, storage space, refrigerator space, everything that you need to keep your goods there while you're not there, right? Because you might have refrigerated inventory, and you might have frozen inventory and ingredients and dry goods, and so it's all maintained and contained there, and you then become licensed to produce and sell out of that facility.
Interesting. Really good.
So like having a commercial kitchen or a restaurant, well, this is your home base.
Okay,
and from there you go out and sell to whatever. Some people distribute wholesale. Other people like me go direct to consumers, to farmers markets and breweries, other events.
Yeah.
But that's your base.
I see.
Yeah.
Very good to know. Really cool. And I'm so happy that there's a resource like that somewhere in Rhode Island, because I know there's people out there who are thinking about it, but having that help is crucial in terms of taking that idea to something feasible. And no one gets there alone,
No, and a testament to the team, okay? Lisa Raioli, the director who, envisioned all of this, and then her team, Waterman and Luca, that, they started with nothing, and there was an empty building. That was the old school building
Is that right?
in Warren,
Interesting.
that was abandoned, and you have to have a vision. And she created this thing, and got grants from the government and whatnot to be able to make this a possibility for the dreams of people like myself, entrepreneurs and want to be in the food business, to come alive. And now it's just turned into this beautiful organization that just has blossomed beyond anybody's imagination, probably even beyond Lisa's imagination. But I can't say enough about the team and the support. And I didn't come from the food business, right? So I was in business, sales and marketing. I understood business, how to deal with clients and customers, but not the first lick of an idea of how to run a food business. And they were very helpful at the beginning in helping me understand the basics of how you want to sort of manage it. So it's very, and that's all free consulting.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. That's all free advice that they give you.
Really cool.
Because they just want to help you.
I love that. That's we need more of that, and we have a lot of that. People who just genuinely want to help others. But I think that's great to hear. So thank you for sharing about that. So after Hope in Maine, and you start your business, and you're getting ready to go and get out there, you're thinking about the menu. How'd you come up with the menu and like choosing certain things to put in an empanada and what all of that looks like, how it tastes? Like how'd you get started?
Loaded question, right?
Yeah.
Short of me talking for days, which we don't have, as I said, rewind to 2000, and I was left with no empanada to consume, so I started making my own for my own personal reasons. Then maybe 5-10 years later, I'm still chasing all my flavors, and I've got the basics: ham and cheese and chicken and beef and a spinach and cheese vegetarian. All for me and my family.
All for you. Okay.
Then I had kids with my wife, and
they're hungry,
and hey, these are good for the kids.
Yes.
So a lot of recipes came to be, over the course of the years. But then fast forward to when I actually launched. And over the course of the years, of course, I wrote down, my recipes. And to this very day, by the way, I tweak my recipes.
Ooh.
Now, some of them are pretty much now set in stone. But there's some recipes that my customers know that I will always chase.
Yes.
A better empanada,
the perfect empanada.
And that's just me.
That's so funny.
But that's good for my customers, I guess, because I tell them, I said, good for you, because I'm gonna die chasing.
Yes.
It'll never be.
I'll be right.
Although
behind.
they are great, they're wonderful. But I'm just somebody that's always chasing that perfection, if you will, right? Maybe that's the perfectionist in me. Maybe that's just the love and the passion for my craft. You know. But that's part of the spirit of the perfect empanada is the variety. I'm up to 30 different fillings.
Is that right?
I can only make 6 maybe a week, you know? Remember, I'm operating out of a shared facility, so I only have so many hours that I can get into the kitchen, then I got to go out and sell and hit the farmer's market circuit. So I figured out a rotation system. I'm going to have the basics every week that people want to have, for sure, want to be there. They expect the chicken and the beef, and they're vegetarian. But then I've got my lobster mac and cheese back in rotation because it's the summer season and the lobster season, and they love it, So,
I love it.
So the recipes go far and wide, and I'm not done. We're just getting started.
Are we just getting started?
I tell my customers, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, well, you guys have not seen a damn thing. I'm sorry, but let's
in all seriousness, I get a lot of satisfaction when I concoct new ideas and stuff like that. I really do.
I mean, when I met you, I was surprised to see an empanada with lobster mac and cheese. I saw that on the menu. It was the first thing there. It caught my eye. And I looked at the other ones, and they were all looking great. And my girlfriend actually got a different one. I think she maybe got the vegan option. But when I bit into the lobster mac and cheese empanada, I was just like, whoa, I need to try this again and try whatever else this guy can put in an empanada. So knowing that, and knowing that the chimichurri is also something that you make, right?
Yeah, and that was not intentional.
Okay.
The chimichurri is part of my Argentinian heritage. It's a very classic condiment in Argentina. Other parts of Latin America as well. So I've just been making that for years on end.
I
Just
see.
for other reasons, for my steak and chicken, salads, whatever.
Oh, I didn't even think
And
about
it's
that.
just gets better and better. It's a recipe I've made for so many years that it's just become really, really good. And it's one of those that's made fresh, so that it's just really fresh. And so I figured out how to do it on a commercial basis in terms of like a once a week production, and the chimichurri complements the empanadas well, especially the crust of the dough for dipping. And it's a whole other market segment. Chimichurri goes so well on so many other things. So for example, today at the farmer's market, I had a customer that is gluten free. They just can't have gluten. And I said, would you like to sample my chimichurri? I can on the bread. I'm gluten free. I said, the chimichurri is vegan and 100% gluten free.
Wow.
It's not made in a gluten-free kitchen.
Okay.
But that wasn't an issue for her.
Yeah.
But the product itself is.
Wow.
And she bought the chimichurri.
Love that.
And would be the furthest possible customer for me because I don't have gluten-free empanadas.
That's right.
Yet. So it's another angle on how to bring customers that would maybe not even touch one of my empanadas to the Perfect Empanada brand. And chimichurri kind of brings another angle to the whole pie.
I love that.
And people are getting excited about the chimichurri.
Yeah.
They just have realized, oh my God, you can put this on anything. And that's the idea, right?
I didn't even think about that. Like the fact that I could not only have it with bread, but also, put it on a steak, put it on something different.
And for a lot of people out there don't know what chimichurri is. So for those of you wondering, I'll tell you real quick what it is.
Yes.
It's an extra virgin olive oil and vinegar based condiment.
Okay.
Mostly from Latin America. Mine is made in the traditional Argentinian style.
Okay.
And it's very simple, healthy ingredients. Olive oil, vinegar, fresh parsley, fresh onion, fresh red pepper, sweet. It's not spicy. Salt, pepper, a good dosage of garlic.
There we go.
Goes wrong.
That's right.
And that's it, folks.
Is that right?
That's it.
I swear, no, there's going to be some secret ingredients in there, which you don't have to share.
The proportions and the freshness is the only secret behind that.
So I can go home tonight and I can make that same chimichurri that I tried when I met you.
You may not have made the same proportions as mine, but you can still pull it off.
I don't know, man.
But you're going to realize quickly, I'd rather just have this guy make it for me.
I think so.
Because this is too much work.
Yes, I think so.
So that's part of what I hopefully am providing as a service for people that don't want to create something from scratch, even though they might love it.
Yeah.
I do it, and I try to do it right.
You do, I think. Thank you for that. So now, with the ingredients, right? Say even for the chimichurri or the empanadas, how do you gather these ingredients? Do you source them locally?
I try as much as possible.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Because, I am a local business, and I'm part of that whole crowd that is support local. And I'm very grateful to the communities that I'm serving in that support local, like myself and all the other small businesses at the farmers markets. And so, for example, most of my empanada flavors that have mushrooms in them, I really, really, really now have relationships with the local wild mushroom farmers that are also at the farmers markets, and I really do use their mushrooms.
Really cool.
I'm a mushroom freak.
Is that right?
So a good mushroom, a good wild mushroom, and my wild mushroom flavors of empanadas will not always have necessarily this. They're going to have what's available in the market that last week for the batch for the following week, so on and so forth. So there's a certain amount that you can procure locally, but then of course I do need to, use the food service distribution channel as well. Of course, some more basic ingredients, some more of the high volume ingredients, and maybe the farmers, it's just not feasible, or they don't have it, or whatnot. Right?
Fair.
So I do a combination of both. But yes, in order to be exquisite and truly gourmet and on a premium level, today at the farmer's market, I bought some scallions some mushrooms.
Nice.
One from a farmer, one from the mushroom person, and that's going into my wild mushroom and pumpkin empanada, folks. And if you come next week to one of my farmer's markets, you will be eating those ingredients that I purchased today.
Interesting.
So I do try to stay local wherever possible and feed back into the local economy, right?
Nice.
Wherever possible. And then, of course, there's other ingredients that just maybe the more basic stuff get sourced from food service, right?
Makes sense.
The brand itself is an interesting story if you want to hear about that. I mean, people are, what makes it the perfect empanada?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot, like I said, it's about an experience. Yes, the product, as you know, has the stamps of the flavors right on it, so you know what's what. It looks good, it tastes good, it's decadent, all that.
Yeah.
But it's about that experience. It's about that you can share with others, right? But getting to that name was the recipes were easy compared to coming up with this brand.
So
folks.
tell us the brand.
People are like,
right?
why don't you just call it Pablo's Empanadas?
Yeah.
I mean, you're Pablo, you have a Latin name. I
Yeah.
mean, what's wrong with it? I go, who's Pablo? Who cares about Pablo? This is about an empanada, not about Pablo. And I had the hardest time.
Really?
Because the word empanada by itself is kind of quirky. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Empanada,
hard.
like-
It doesn't roll off the tongue. You know, enchilada? No, empanada. Empa what?
Empa who?
And you got to remember, when I was crafting this 20 years ago, I started just doing it for myself.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I started thinking, I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
What am I going to call it? Empanadas weren't as popular.
That's right.
So it was an even harder word.
Oh.
People didn't even know, Empa what?
Yeah.
You know, when
Seriously.
I asked people.
Yeah.
That was the reaction. So I was like, oh, how do I make it so people can kind of sort of remember it? Because, you know, Pablo, who's Pablo? Half the people I think know me call me Pedro.
Oh my gosh, that's
I don't
interesting.
care. It
Hey,
doesn't
if you
offend
see
me,
him out
but-
there next week and call him Pablo, all right? It's easy.
Call me whatever you want.
All
Call
right,
me
there
the
you go.
man, the perfect
man.
empanada, whatever.
Yes.
The point is, I was sometimes out of frustration, something good comes. And I believe out of my biggest frustration came the brand name.
Is that
and
right?
That was me one day. This was at home making an empanada recipe for myself, not before I was in business, not selling it, you know. But by that time, I was making a lot of empanadas for myself, throwing a lot of weight because I couldn't eat them all, but just tweaking my recipes until I eventually... And I was just so frustrated. I mean, I had gone through lists of names, and none of them worked for me in my head, you know? And I guess as an entrepreneur, you know when you know. And I just didn't know. I couldn't get the name.
Okay.
And I was just as frustrated as I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
As frustrated as I was. I was crimping some empanadas, and I was just practically yelling at myself, okay? This is a true story. This is how the name of this company was born.
Okay.
All right? Oh, my God, Pablo. And I'm just talking to myself while I'm finishing these empanadas. What's wrong? I can't come up with a name, and I'm so mad. You've been chasing the perfect empanada for almost 20 years or 10 years now, and I've been chasing the perfect empanada. And all of a sudden, I stopped, and I said to myself, yeah, I've been chasing the perfect empanada for 10 years or so now. And I'm like, the perfect, that kind of rules.
Yeah.
I threw the board aside.
No.
I ran to my computer.
That's
I
awesome.
went to GoDaddy or whatever. I said, it's probably taken, theperfectempanada.com, and I'm going to want $20,000 for the domain.
Of course, yeah.
And lo and behold, it was available. .com, .net, whatever.
Wow.
And I hit the purchase button.
Boom.
I wasn't even in business.
You weren't even like nothing.
No.
You just
I
bought
was not, the business didn't exist.
I mean, yeah, I guess it
Okay,
did, huh?
and I bought the domain names of .com, .net. Say, that's the name.
That's it.
Because I've been chased, and that's my true story. Some people, this is Mama's recipe that I've had for...
Yeah.
My story is, for 20 plus years now, I've been chasing the perfect empanada, and I'm never going to stop chasing, folks.
I love that.
And that's where that comes from. And so now I'm trying to transform that into, an experience for everybody, where that empanada becomes a vehicle of just a great food experience.
Yes.
And hopefully with a lot of innovation and a lot of new surprises and bells and whistles built into it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be one badass empanada.
Man.
And I don't care whether it's the lobster, the chicken, or the beef, they're all the best. What are you in the mood for today? That today will be your perfect empanada. Tomorrow you might want the other one. That one will be perfect for you.
Love that.
And that's how that happened.
Wow. So the perfect
So,
empanada.
sometimes you just have to be really, really frustrated and up against the wall
Yelling at
to
yourself.
come up with something that I think is pretty cool. And it's me. That's my story. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's not that I am arrogant and I'm making the perfect empanada.
Oh, this is the
That's
perfect.
my story, and that's why this is called the perfect empanada.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I hope if you guys are out there and you're sitting down and there's something that you're working on and you're getting frustrated and you're overthinking it or you're
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Thank
Talk
you.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Yell at yourself.
Yeah.
It will come to you.
I believe it.
If you believe in it and
Yeah.
you're passionate about it,
Yeah.
it will come to you. Be patient.
That's fair. Be patient too. I've realized that in my as I've grown as an adult, I was very focused on doing things and having them happen very quickly, because it can happen if you really think about it and you really manifest it. But there is an element of patience that needs to happen too.
And I'm still practicing patience. Patience is one of the hardest things for me because I'm a naturally I want to just go.
Yeah.
But but yeah,
Interesting.
patience is key, and I'm still learning
Hell
how
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Now I have to be more patient than ever because there's certain things that this business could do that I'm not ready to do yet.
I see.
Either financially or people.
Yeah.
I don't have the people
Yeah.
or the capabilities yet. So it's a process, right?
Yeah.
So
let me ask you.
patience is important.
It is. Let me ask you, so regarding the future of the Perfect Empanada, what excites you about the future? Are there things that maybe you're looking forward to, things that you have in the works, or things that you want to see come to fruition one day?
Yeah. So a lot of people will ask me where you located at a farmer's market. And I pretty much say, well, here and at other markets. And I produce out of Hope in Maine and Warren, Rhode Island, which we discussed.
Yeah.
But I don't yet have an establishment, to bring people back to. So, or other people will be like, oh, you're going to open up a food truck, right? I go, maybe.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the innovation that I want to do.
Okay.
So in a perfect world, right now, where I'm at with my vision and mission of how I believe I can bring a completely innovative empanada experience to the U.S. consumer, the Northeast consumer, the Rhode Island consumer, whatever. Let's start small. Is through an exquisite gourmet empanada cafe, and it would be called the Perfect Empanada Cafe Experience.
Love that.
That's it.
I love
in
that.
a nutshell.
Yeah.
And that's when I look at a customer straight between the eyes, Ollie, and I say, and if you like these,
Yeah.
just wait till I get to there.
Oh, I
You
can't
gotta take
wait.
the leash off of me, and you ain't seen nothing yet, man.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
And what I mean by that is, I like to kid around, but I'm not kidding. I do have a process that I'm working on that I can't do in a shared kitchen or in a mobile kitchen, even a food truck, that ultimately I believe can come to life in that cafe. Not a restaurant, just like a Starbucks, but empanadas are the leader with some other, obviously, coffee. I grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you Cuban coffee, baby.
Yes,
you better
let's
believe
do that.
it.
Oh, let's do that.
If we get a liquor license, great. We'll have craft beer, chimichurri, and so on, right?
Nice.
But the empanada experience, the idea is to turn that thing upside down and bring some people empanadas, and there will be empanadas, but in a whole different way.
I can't wait, because I know it's going to happen.
In a whole
It's going to
different
happen.
way. That's kind of what excites me and scares me, because I've set a lofty vision for myself. I'm not just trying to sell empanadas. I'm trying to be, I guess for lack of a better term, I'm trying to be the innovation leader that sets a new standard in the empanada category.
Nice.
For now, in Rhode Island or in the Northeast, and then we see where it goes from there.
I love that. And I can't wait to watch your journey. I know that there's great things ahead, and I'm going to be rooting you on. And the people out there listening and watching this, please stay tuned with Pablo and what he's up to, the Perfect Empanada. I'll post their Instagram again here. But seriously, check him out. And wherever you are in Rhode Island, go see this guy. Because you're going to leave feeling, one, your belly's going to be feeling full. You're going to feel good. You can go about your day. But you're also going to get this sense of like energy and like motivation that you probably weren't expecting. And it's going to be Pablo and his smile and the great food, and you're going to leave there feeling really fulfilled. So,
and it's not a show.
No, it's not even a show, right?
It's not a
this
show.
Is you. This is you.
It's not a show. Like, this is me.
This is
I
you.
couldn't do that in my corporate life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was more,
sit down, do
traditional.
your thing, yeah.
And so now I'm living my best life in the later years of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing everything I can with all that I got inside of me. It's to give you the best possible experience. And some people will think it's quirky and funny. I'm not making this up. This is what I feel.
Yes.
And you come see me, and when I do this,
baby, let's go.
It's not me trying to put on a show and impress you. It's just this is who I am.
I love that, and I caught that in like a minute of meeting you. So it was actually it was shorter than that. It was within 10 seconds. You had a crowd of people next to you, and they were in front of your stand, and you were speaking to everyone at once. And I
really,
yes, like everyone was captivated by what you were saying, and like you were like, oh yeah, so these are my empanadas, this and that, and I was just like, wow, all right, like. This guy's got just a great vibe. So, like, I want to sit down with him, So, thank God it's happening. This is a blessing, and I'm so happy that you're sitting in the seat.
Thank you for having me, too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm grateful for everybody that walks, through my path and gives me a chance to tell my story.
Yeah, definitely.
How big or small.
Yeah.
Because without the help of folks like you, you know, this maybe can't get out to more people. But come on out and see us, you know, and you know, judge for yourself. And
that's right.
And
judge for yourself.
All of this vibe and enthusiasm that Ali's talking about, I really, you know, we try to put it into that product, you know, and how it looks and how it feels and how it tastes. And,
Hell yeah.
And take it home, share with your, like I said, and experience it with your friends and your family and your kids and parties or whatever. And hopefully I've done something right for you, you know, and make it work.
Thank you, Pablo. So, outside of the Perfect Empanada, what do you like to do in your free time?
What do I like to do in my free time?
Yeah.
Aside from making empanadas?
Aside from making empanadas, because you do that on your free time too?
I actually do. I like to do a lot of things. Okay. Some things take a lot of time that I don't have right now to do because I'm in the incubation process of a startup. But you know, I used to be an avid golfer. That takes a lot of time, but that's a lot of fun, you know, because it's something that you can just go out and you walk for 18 holes with your bag over your shoulder. And for me, I look at it as a 4-hour hike.
Yeah,
at peace with nature.
Yes.
Not at peace with yourself, because that's a hard game.
It's a mentally
battle. Challenging game. But you know what? It's a humbling game. And remaining humble is important,
that's
right?
Fair. Do you have a favorite place to eat in Rhode Island? I'm curious.
You know what? I love to discover new places.
Same.
I'll give you a place that I love.
Okay.
It's somewhat related to my Hispanic heritage. Not directly mine from Argentina, but I know a lot of you out there from Rhode Island know this place. Yeah. Quite a following. It's called Los Andes.
Ooh.
Peruvian, Bolivian.
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
I don't need to say more. Everybody knows it.
Yes.
But you know what I like to do these days?
Let's hear it.
Because I like discovering food and flavors. Right?
Yeah.
Because then when I discover food and flavors, I sometimes transpose it into my product.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I love discovering, like you had Anat from the Mosaic Table.
Yes.
Here,
Shout out to Anat. Yes.
Right. I just love eating all of my fellow locals that work alongside at the different markets.
Yes.
I get a real kick out of discovering small local business.
Me too.
Because they all put the same amount of heart and passion into it that maybe in different ways, but in the same way.
Thank you.
So, you know, the list is long, okay? I'm not going to sit here and list it, but I mean, there's so many different, you know, food vendors that do something, one or two things really well, you know, and I want to see that flourish into whatever they want, whether it's a restaurant or whatnot.
Definitely.
And that's a good example of that. You know, I could tell you many, many others, right? But at the end of the day, those are the kind of places lately that I love to
go check out.
You know, then I also named the large scale restaurant operation that's very popular.
Yep.
A lot of people can probably identify with that.
Yeah.
I love Peruvian food. I think the Peruvian culinary culture is very skilled.
I think so too.
Very intricate.
Yes.
I'm still working on a Peruvian empanada. That would be not great. Easy, you know, to they're really masters in the kitchen.
Is that right?
The Peruvian culinary cuisine is pretty complex in their condimentation. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's me in food.
Nice.
And when you know what, I'm a pizza nut too.
Are you?
Love pizza.
Pizza's great.
And I don't.
How can you not?
I'm a pizza nut. I love my local pizza joints.
Yep.
Brick pizza, Broadway dough. For example, one of the guys that he'll be at the farmer's market in Tiverton tomorrow. He makes a great dough, you know, great pizza. Yeah,
nice.
Pizza. Warren House of Pizza makes a great pizza as well. My local pizza shop, Apollon Pizza, where I live in Attleboro, love his pizza.
Okay.
I love pizza. Who doesn't?
Yeah,
right?
who doesn't?
And I kind of identify with pizza because empanadas kind of bring the same experience and memory and sharing with people kind of vibe, right?
True.
So it makes sense that I would love pizza, right?
True.
Because it's a shareable thing. Yeah.
That's fair. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing about that. So I'm curious, you know, you have just this aura, this energy about you, but you know, you maybe have been inspired or looked up to certain people as you've grown. And I'm curious, is there a person or a resource or a mantra that you kind of embody or you look to and fuels you?
Yeah, I mean, probably quite a few people, you know. A lot of people, obviously, you know, say their mother or their father or a family member. And sure, my dad was entrepreneurial in a different way, but he had a lot of those innovation instincts and all that. But if I had to pin it down to one person who I don't know and I never met,
Okay.
who was insanely famous. We lost this individual in 2020 to cancer. Many of the younger generation folks may not know who he is, but I know any of you older folks out there know exactly who this person is. It has nothing to do with food. And his name is Edward Van Halen.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved rock and roll. I actually thought I wanted to be a drummer in a rock and roll band. Yes, I do play the drums, but I'm not a professional drummer, okay? But that's what I wanted to do out of high school. I took the safe route and I went to college instead and made a profession out of myself.
Yep.
But Eddie was much more than a hard rocker.
Okay.
Okay? He was an innovator.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Anyone that's a guitarist today would not play the guitar, especially the rock and roll electric guitar, the way they do if it wasn't for the existence of Eddie Van Halen and his innovation techniques and what he actually did with the instrument technologically.
Okay, interesting.
Okay?
Interesting. How so?
And I can go on forever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the point is, he was, in 1978, when they hit the big time, some of the best guitarists in the world were like, what are we listening to? What is this guy doing, right? Now, the local scene in LA, so that people knew him, but anyway, he went on to be some people will say maybe the greatest guitarist ever. That's a relative term because guitar, who's the greatest,
course,
right? Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
But he was also, from what I understand, just a person. Well, you see it. He smiled all the time when he was playing his guitar. I've seen him live many times.
Oh, have
Never
you?
met him. Seen him live.
I see.
And you just see that that's what he was born to do.
Yeah, which is great.
He was playing. If you watch any YouTube videos of Eddie playing the guitar in concert, always smiling, giving a killer show, creating these wicked wild sounds. It was all the innovation machine behind in his genes, and that just transposed a whole generation of musicians.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't just this partying rock and roll, He was a musician and the best at his craft, and he set a new standard.
Interesting.
I guess that's what I'm trying to do, you know? And so I guess I'm inspired by that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't want to be famous per se, but I guess the fame comes out of that. That's not what I'm looking for, but that's what drives me, and that's what clearly drove him. And he's a cut of, I still miss him, and I don't even know him. But all of us that loved Van Halen back in the day, we all miss Eddie. He left us too early. He was only 65. I believe it was,
is that
when
right?
He passed away from cancer. But he lived a full life, and he always smiled, and the fans always got the most out of him. I've seen him many times in concert, and it's just mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Actually,
mind blowing.
I wish I had a chance to go see him.
I never met him personally, but I've seen him several times. And just the things, the sounds. So anyway, I could go on forever. But I guess that's a true inspiration, a completely different field, unrelated. But those personality traits, kind of sort of inspire me to be that way, and create something a little new and different,
Yeah, of
with
course.
an instrument that was so well known.
Yeah.
An empanada is not that foreign anymore.
That's true, not anymore.
I just want to do it a little differently, that's all.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you. And here's my last question. This chat has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been so good to learn about your story and the Perfect Empanada and chasing the Perfect Empanada.
Yeah, we're chasing, folks.
We're chasing it, right?
Join the ride.
We're chasing it. Join the ride because we're just going to the moon. But my last question is, someone is out there, they're listening or watching, and they're thinking to themselves, wow, I really admire what Pablo's done. I think that he's really cool. I myself want to start a business that's similar, but I don't know how to go about it, and I just really need some advice. What advice would you give to that person?
Well, I think the first thing that you want to do is, okay, in my case, food. I was lucky enough that somebody introduced me to this concept of hope in Maine that I had no idea existed because I wanted to start this food business and I had no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
I'd never been in the food business. I've been in business, but not in food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where do I go? I don't have the money,
Yeah.
Whatever field you're in, there's a strong likelihood if you begin networking within the field, I don't care how or when, just start talking to people about what you want to do. I guess inevitably within that field, you'll always find that resource that on the smaller scale can help you and give you some guidance on how to start. In the world of food, it's a shared commercial kitchen incubation system like the one we described with Hope in Maine that provided the access for me and many others, have come before me and coming alongside me, right? I don't know. Yeah. In a technology field of some sort, you need to find a way to get closer to the people in that world that can then guide you and maybe give you that little opening and say, well, have you thought about talking to these folks? They are in the business of helping people like you that just want to get started.
Yeah.
That's one.
Okay.
So try to find the avenue that can get you to open up the door, okay? It's not just about getting the money to start a business, but the know-how, right?
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people in each one of their fields that are there that want to help the next generation come up.
That's right.
Number two, when you leave the corporate world, the safe world, as I call it.
The safe world, yes.
And want to start a business,
yes.
Know that you have to embrace uncertainty.
Okay.
And know that you can only learn by tripping, falling, and failing and getting back up and learning from that, right? It's just not going to go right from day one.
It's fair.
It's probably not going to go right from day one till the end.
I believe
that's what running your own business I'm learning through my father's eyes. We talked about somebody, my dad was an entrepreneur, so I saw a lot of that, and I was afraid of that for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, God, there's a lot of tripping and falling, man.
Holy moly,
that's
man.
a hard way to live.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of value and a lot of reward that comes from that. So if you have that in your blood for a little bit of adventure, to embrace uncertainty, I think you'll go a long way. It's not necessarily the safe route, but it can be very adventurous. It will be stressful, but so is everything. It will be hard work, but so is whatever you're doing now.
That's right. Yeah.
So pick your poison, right?
Right, yeah.
Find the avenue that'll open up the door and the resources and the people.
Yeah.
But also know what you're getting into. And I think no matter what category of business, if you're starting your own thing, know that you have to embrace uncertainty, adventure, and fall.
Yeah.
Fall hard. Don't be embarrassed. Put yourself out there, but learn and be humble.
I love that.
Humble.
Love that.
Because humility leads to learning. It's, I think, arrogance that becomes the beginning of the downfall of no matter how big or small you are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. And so, that I guess, I don't know that I'm worthy of providing any advice. I'm still in my early journey, but that's what comes to mind for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That hits me right where I'm in the, not in the fields, but that hits me, and I resonate with your message. It's good advice to anyone, I think, out there who's just thinking about how they can turn an idea into something that can be feasible and tangible.
And it's okay if you find out that it's not for you, because it's not for everyone.
That's fair. Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah, totally.
But maybe try to take the journey to find your place
and
find out.
At least try, right?
And see if there's that door that opens for a lower cost, lower risk at the beginning. But it may not be for everybody, right? And that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Nice. Any last words before we head on out of here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And join the chase, folks.
It's the
Perfect Empanada. We're just trying to do things a little differently and just put a smile on everybody's face every day.
And there's a smile on mine. So I hope if you have stuck around till the end, there's a smile on your face as well. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a great time. Pablo.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you. Peace out.
Cheers.